So I will show you how to turn a pad, something like this, into something like this. Or perhaps something like this. Now, it's not a secret technique, it's nothing particularly complicated, but it is something that you may not have thought of trying. So shortly after I made this tutorial, I had a bit of a weird and mad idea. If you want to hear what that was, watch till the end of the video because I will tell you more about it then. Essentially, you are just processing a sound, in this case the pad, with a noise source through a vocoder. Now, it's not complicated. You should be able to do this in any DAW using a free plugin. I will show you exactly what you need and how to set it up. Now, you cannot unfortunately use any vocoder. You must be able to supply your own carrier as well as modulator. Now, if you're a little bit hazy about vocoder terminology, you undoubtedly know a vocoder typically changes your voice to sound like a robot. So in slightly more technical terms, what is happening is that there is a carrier sound which is modulated by a modulator sound. I could never remember which was which, so I worked out a little thing to help me remember which was which. So typically with a vocoder, you will use your voice or mouth to create the vocoded sound. So modulator, mouth. So the modulator is the mouth thing that is going into the vocoder, and the carrier, keyboard, that is the synth sound that you would play on a keyboard that is being modulated by the voice. So the synth sound is the carrier and your voice would be the modulator. I hope that helps someone. I had to keep looking this up for ages. So all vocoders let you apply your own modulator or voice or whatever it may be, but not many vocoders allow you to supply your own carrier. I have Arturia's vocoder V, which is absolutely brilliant, but it does not allow you to supply your own carrier, so I can't use it for this. However, there is a free vocoder called TAL Vocoder 2, which allows you to do just that, and of course there is a link in the description to TAL Vocoder 2, so you can use that. If you do know of any vocoders which allow you to specify your own carrier as well as modulator, then please do let me know in the comments, because I'm really interested in vocoders and I'd possibly like to explore some other options. But TAL Vocoder works fine. So what I was attempting to do with this process was to create a more organic pad sound, something that might be suitable for future garage, or as they say in these here parts, future garage. I shall try not to lapse into the vernacular too much. So future garage, Chillstep, ambient, of course, where you want a little bit of organicness, vintage vibe, perhaps lo-fi vibe to your pad, something which needs a drone or a backdrop, a bed, something to put other sounds on top of, just to give it a little bit more movement, just a little bit more than filter sweeps and little modulations like that, something a little bit different. So I hope that will provide that for you. Now in the demo I am using Hainbach's Noises plugin, which I looked at in a video up here, link to that in description. If you like noise, you will probably like the plugin, so do check it out. It gives you a bit more information about it. However, you do not need the Noises plugin. I am using it simply to provide lots of different types of noise, so you can see how different types of noise affect the pad. That's all. Now the TAL Vocoder is an insert. I show you how to set this up in the tutorial. And to feed it both a carrier and a modulator signal, you need to feed it a stereo signal with the carrier on the left channel and the modulator on the right channel. Again, I show you how to set this up in the tutorial. So one other thing you have to do after setting this up is to tell TAL that you are supplying it with both carrier and modulator. And to do that, here's TAL. You click this little button, the mode button, and the text helpfully tells you left as carrier, right as modulator. This section is the vocoder section. You can tweak these sliders, adjust the frequencies and so on. And this section is the built-in synth section of TAL, which we, for the purposes of this video, will ignore. So that's all the intro and the housekeeping. Let's see how to set it up and how it works. So first of all, I will show you how things are set up and routed. You should be able to do this in any DAW. It's relatively simple. On the first track, I have a pad. I've just recorded a pad sound. I'll play this for you. Okay, so because of the way it's set up, the pad is coming through the left speaker and the noises will be coming through the right speaker. So I hope if you are listening in stereo, mono, whatever, I hope you can hear them both. I have explained why they are set up that way. So this is the pad, and I'm just using a pad from Pad Shop, which comes with Cubase, but you can use any pad at all. I've tried to select a pad which has a little bit of movement to it. We are trying to produce something which is a moving organic sort of sound. So anyway, that's the pad. That is set up on track 1. On track 2, I have noises. Now you don't need noises at all. I've selected this well because I haven't. Noises are a lot of fun, but I've selected it so I can run through a series of different types of noise so you can see how they affect the pad. Now you don't need noises at all whatsoever to use this process. I would use a field recording. You will probably get the best results if you have a variable recording such as nature sounds, the crackling of leaves underfoot, wind perhaps surf, but I would try to stay away from what I would call a static noise source such as white noise or the hum of a fan, because there's no variation in it. But I run through some noise selections here with this noises plugin and you'll be able to see what they sound like. So just put your field recording in track 2. Now if we have a look at the mixer section, let's get this up. You will see that track 1, the pad is panned hard left and the noise section is panned hard right, as described in the introduction. And let's have a look at the insert section. So you could do something quick and dirty, and that's actually all you need to do. Just pan track 1 hard left, track 2 hard right, and you could insert the TAL Vocoder into the output channel. That is really dirty because if you wanted to put anything else into the project, then that would also be affected by the vocoder on the output channel. But that you could do that, and you could just simply bounce the result to audio and use that in your piece of music. However, a slightly less dirty and more practical, I guess, way of doing this would be to route these 2 tracks to a group channel or a bus, whatever your DAW calls them. Here in Cubase I've created a group track and routed them to the group track, and the group track then goes to the stereo out. This way you can add additional tracks of normal instruments, and shall we say, so you could build up a complete song using this setup. And on the group track I have inserted the TAL Vocoder. So track 1 and track 2 run to the group track, and the TAL Vocoder is used as an insert on the group track. So that's the basic setup which you should be able to do in any DAW. So let's hear what it sounds like. Now, just for speed and efficiency, if you like, as I said, the pad is in the left channel, the noises are in the right channel. What I would like to do is to play you the noise on its own so you can see the sort of noise which is going into the system. I think that would be useful, but to save me messing about, I am just leaving the noise in the right channel. So I hope that's okay with you. So you've already heard what the pad sounds like. Here's a quick refresh. Just in the left speaker. It's just a pad. That's fine. Okay, so let's pull up noise. No noises, and we'll switch this on. And again, the noises is in the right speaker, but you can hear what the noise is. An interesting noise. So let's switch on the vocoder. Now we don't hear anything because you need to play the two sounds in order to hear something. So if I start playback, you will hear the result. And you can hear how the pad is being modulated by the noise. So that is one noise. Let's try another noise. So I think that's quite nice. A little bit wobbly. So that's a little bit crunchy. It sounds as if there's footsteps walking through something, and you can sort of hear that coming through on the pad. Let's try another one. And now this is interesting. This is a pitched sound. Oh, it's got some noise like a hum. Let's listen to this. So that's quite interesting. It's a combination of a melodic modulation and then a noise modulation. So that might be useful for some types of music. Not quite the organic crunchiness that we were going after though, I don't think. Let's try another one. Now that sounds interesting. Let's see what this sounds like. Interesting. A little bit crunch. Well, let's try another one. So this is a low hum type. We'll give it a quick blast. I don't think this will be terribly effective, but let's see. it's still interesting. It's producing a bit of a sort of phasing effect, not quite crunchy, but again, it depends what you feed into it, and you might find this good and useful for different types of music. Let's try another one. Now this might work. It might be a little bit too regular or static, as I have said. Interesting. Let's try another one. So this is the wind sort of noise. Let's try this. So I think that's quite interesting, but it's a regular movement, which again produces a regular effect. So this might work. I think that's quite successful. It's a bit of variation, a little bit of crackly crunchiness to it. Of course, if you were using a field recording, it could be as long as your entire piece, so the pad would vary throughout it. That's quite interesting, that's quite nice. I think that works quite well. There's a variation in volume, but there's a crackly crunchiness to it. Let's see if we can find another one. Well, that might work because it has got the crackly crunchiness bits in it. So that was quite interesting. So anyway, I hope this has given you an idea of the sort of different effects you can get with different types of noise. Of course, in the vocoder section, you can adjust the frequency bands. There's controls for tone and harmonics and de-essing, and you can control the output. When you run these two tracks into the vocoder, the output is often not quite as loud as the tracks themselves, so you might want to adjust the volume a little bit as well. So some really interesting modulations there, I think, using this process. I hope you found it interesting enough to want to go to try this for yourself. If you produce any pieces of music using this technique, then please feel free to link to them in the comments. If you have any questions about this, then put them in the comments and I will do my very best to answer them. Now, I did say I had a bit of a wild and wacky idea for this tutorial, as I was mainly concentrating on trying to find a sort of crackly organic modulation to apply to the synth pad. I was a little bit blinkered there, I think, possibly. So what I decided to do was to use the noises plugin and play all of the presets and apply them one at a time to this synth pad. I think the results will be quite interesting. Hopefully this will follow about a day on from this video, so check the card up there and a link in description. So check out all 148 or so presets in noises and see how they modulate the sound of this pad via a vocoder. Yes, I said it was a bit mad. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video and found it perhaps a little bit inspirational, perhaps enthusing you to go on and create your own sounds using a technique like this or a similar. If you have enjoyed it, then perhaps you would like to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. Thank you. It's all about electronic music, synthesizers and that sort of lovely stuff. And if you would be kind enough to click the big thumb, that would be very much appreciated as well. As always, I really do appreciate you spending your precious time watching my videos, listening to my music. So for that, thank you very much indeed. I will see you again very soon in the next one.